Okay, so Junior Seau's family is suing the NFL, and I wanted to ask Pasha on this from Top Floor Legal. AskPasha.com, and as you know, Pasha is my go-to legal guy. Pasha, I'm looking at it, and I know you read the complaint itself that was filed with the Superior Court.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at this right now, and it's just, thank God you're a lawyer because I can't read that much. There's just a ton of stuff here. I mean, this is like 600 pages long. So
yeah, it's a well-documented lawsuit for sure.
Well, because they're asking for an awful lot here, aren't they? I mean, what does it break down? What are they asking the judge to do?
Well, there's a couple causes of actions here. There's a wrongful death, and that's what a lot of the media is concentrating on. But I think the most compelling cause of action here is the allegation of fraud. And if this fact that they allege, if true, is pretty damning against the NFL, and that is that they say that the NFL created a committee to study traumatic brain injury, but they ended up falsifying some of the research and misrepresenting. And I don't know, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's huge. So is the family suing more to make some change and to bring more awareness and out the NFL for masking these dangers? Is that really what they're trying to do, is protect future players maybe?
That's exactly what the family is saying. And you bring out a good point that, a lot of lawsuits that we see and then even we cover on the show, really, it kind of bothers you because these guys really take advantage of the legal system.
Yeah.
But in this case, I don't think they're looking out for money here, and that's what they say themselves. And I think defining success for them is not whether they're going to win this lawsuit or not, but whether or not they're going to actually bring attention to this issue. And as we're talking about it today, they already have.
Okay. Here's where I know this gets very complicated because they're going to try to say that the NFL somehow caused Junior's death. Now, how do you connect the NFL to Junior's death, and how are they going to try to tie all that together? Junior took his own life.
Yeah, you pointed out a weakness in their case, I think.
It seems to be the most glaring one.
Yeah. So they're going to have to. There's a lot of issues here, but when it comes to wrongful death, one of the elements is causation. So somehow they're going to have to show that the NFL, or also, by the way, they also sued helmet manufacturers here too.
Yeah, Riddell. Yeah.
So the
Riddle
NFL,
or whatever you say it.
Yeah. So the NFL caused CTE,
yeah,
or some kind of brain injury that ended up causing the suicide.
Okay.
And I think maybe they can get to the brain injury part, but that last part's going to be tough.
Okay. But that really, even if that may not be what they're looking for then. Like you said, they're trying to out the NFL. Are they proposing then that the NFL knows that they're causing injury? They know that they're really sacrificing the later years of the lives of the players to make a profit, and the NFL is intentionally masking those dangers?
Yeah, in fact, they say that in previous press releases, the NFL has cited that there's no link between traumatic head injuries and head impacts and brain injury.
Okay.
And that just seems disingenuous to me, and I think to most listeners. And when, for example, there's a reason why the Pro Bowl is not exciting every year. There's a reason why they're thinking about canceling it, because players know that there's a risk of injury, and in that game, the risk of injury outweighs the reward. So they play lightly, and so it's the fact that they would actually say these things and hide research, if true, I think is a little troubling.
So if they're hiding research, if they've got some documents out there that say, yeah, we are culpable in the brain injuries that are going on, we know that we can cause brain injuries and we're not doing anything about it. I mean, were we talking kind of like the whole big tobacco? We know we're causing cancer, but we're going to keep floating out there that we're not? Is this what's going on?
I would say it's similar. However, in this case, the NFL is in the best position to actually study head trauma, as compared to, the CDC released a study that they're the ones who kind of talked about some of these CTE injuries. But the NFL actually created a committee, funded it, and so forth. So now all of a sudden, people are relying upon that research. And so unlike the tobacco company, I don't know if they necessarily claim that they did all these studies and there was no independent studies that weren't funded.
Right.
And so it's a little different, but I can see the analogy.
Okay. So there's an awful lot of money at stake here, and that's what we know. What about the future of the NFL?
Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of pressure is building. For example, all the negotiations with the NFL Players Association has a lot of discussion about pensions for both referees and past players, and especially the previous generations. And now there's about 3,800 cases in Tennessee in federal court that basically almost alleges the exact same thing in this case. So I would keep paying attention to this if you're an NFL fan.
All right, one other question, and then we're going to kind of bounce here. Are
Sure.
the college football programs at risk here? Do they know what's going on, and how come the Seau family isn't suing USC? Because we know he had some major collisions when he was in college, right?
Yeah, again, I think it comes down to that representation of the NFL. I think that's the main fact. And as far as the future of college, they're going to see the changes too if they come in the future as well.
Okay. All right. So, but they got to start on top, and then it'll kind of trickle down. Then I think we can probably figure on seeing that, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Pasha from AskPasha.com. Top Floor Legal, and Top Floor Legal is our go-to place for business law questions and any law questions. And I like Pasha because Pasha associates really well. If I start dogging on Voice of Maryland News Radio 600 Kogo. I can't wait to find out more on this whole Seau lawsuit. This thing's got so many levels. I'm glad Pasha was on too, because Pasha figured it out for us. See, we thought the family was going to try to rake in thousands, if not millions of dollars, and it sounds like their whole thing is they want to make things safer in the future, which is pretty awesome, and is consistent with how sweet his mother was. Do you remember when Junior shot himself, and his mother was all over the TV set? We all fell in love with her. She was crying. She was like, why would somebody do this to my son? Why? She thought he was murdered. Why would someone do this to my son? Why would Junior, would he? Thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming so much. And it was like it was almost as though she wanted to serve you hors d'oeuvres. She was wonderful. I didn't have time to make any smokies. I'm so sorry, but why would they do this to I loved her. And now the family's suing, but it sounds like she's suing so that other families don't have to go through it. If that's the case, then I love them. I do. In fact, I was reading the legal documents, and compensation to the family is the last item that they ask for. They ask for the NFL to change